Then you have Billy Bush weighing in, and this is where the story takes an even heavier turn. Billy Bush, who's long been one of the most connected voices in entertainment reporting, spoke about what he'd been hearing behind the scenes, particularly involving the Reiner family and their daughter, Romy Reiner. According to reports, Romy was the one who discovered her parents after the incident, a moment that instantly placed her at the center of a tragedy no one could have imagined. From the outside, the Reiners looked like a Hollywood fairy tale. Rob Reiner, a legendary filmmaker behind some of the most beloved films of all time. Michelle Reiner, described by friends as the quiet strength of the family. Their children grew up surrounded by creativity, cameras, and applause. Red carpets, premieres, smiling family photos. Everything about their public image felt solid, stable, untouchable. But behind that polished surface, people close to the family say pressure had been building for years. Long before December, there were signs of strain, personal struggles, emotional distance, tensions that never fully resolved. And then, according to multiple accounts, everything reached a breaking point. December 13th, 2025 was supposed to be festive. That evening, Rob and Michelle attended a Christmas party hosted by Conan O'Brien. It was filled with familiar Hollywood faces, laughter, music, and celebration. On the surface, it looked like a normal industry gathering. But several people later said the mood shifted dramatically at one point during the night. Witnesses claim a heated argument broke out involving their son, Nick Reiner. It wasn't subtle. Voices were raised. Faces tightened. Conversations around them stopped. People noticed. The tension was uncomfortable enough that guests began exchanging looks. Something felt wrong. According to one account Billy Bush referenced, a source claimed that later that night, Nick went back to his parents' home. These claims allege that a violent incident occurred there, and that Romy, who reportedly lived nearby, was the one who found her parents afterward and called for help. These details have not been proven in court and remain part of an ongoing investigation, but they quickly became central to the case. What complicated everything further is that Nick has denied any wrongdoing. He has publicly claimed he is being blamed unfairly and has pointed the finger at his sister, saying she knows more than she's saying. Romy, through people close to her, has strongly denied this and maintains that Nick is attempting to shift blame. Billy Bush noted that whispers from the party began circulating almost immediately afterward. One phrase kept coming up again and again among guests, that Nick had everyone on edge. Investigators later reportedly began looking closely at the hours before and after that gathering, trying to piece together whether that confrontation was connected to what followed. Rob Reiner, according to witnesses, did not escalate the situation at the party. Several people said he appeared calm, trying to de-escalate, trying to protect his family. Michelle stayed close to him the entire time. When they left the event, they didn't storm out. They left quietly, deliberately, as if trying to keep the situation private and under control. Later that night, Rob reportedly spoke on the phone with longtime friend Eric Idle, sounding relaxed and upbeat, even discussing future creative plans. That contrast has stood out to many observers, especially given what would allegedly unfold hours later. In the early morning hours of December 14th, something occurred inside the family's Brentwood home. Authorities have confirmed that emergency responders were called after Romy discovered her parents unresponsive. Michelle was reportedly still alive at that point and was transported by ambulance, where she later passed away. Investigators have stated there were no signs of forced entry, meaning whoever was involved was likely already inside the home or known to the family. Neighbors reported hearing nothing. No alarms, no shouting, just silence. Investigators later described the house as unusually quiet, the kind of quiet that feels unsettling rather than peaceful. Nick has claimed he was not present at the time and says he left the area, later checking into a hotel in Santa Monica. According to reports, staff there described him as calm and composed. However, investigators later searched that hotel room and allegedly found evidence that tied him back to the timeline of events, a development that significantly escalated the case. Later that same day, surveillance footage reportedly placed Nick at several locations around Los Angeles, moving normally, not appearing panicked. That behavior became another point of focus for investigators. By that evening, police located Nick near Exposition Park and took him into custody without incident. No chase, no resistance, just a quiet arrest that marked a turning point in the investigation. As forensic teams examined the Brentwood home, they focused heavily on timing and cause. Medical experts reportedly concluded the injuries involved sharp force trauma at close range, and that the incident was not random. These findings became the foundation of the prosecution's case. Nick was later charged with 2 counts of first-degree homicide, with special circumstances due to multiple victims. He has pleaded not guilty and continues to maintain his innocence, insisting his sister knows the truth. Romy, meanwhile, has stood firm, rejecting his claims and asking for privacy as the legal process unfolds. When Nick appeared in court for the first time, the atmosphere was heavy and controlled. Cameras were restricted. Reporters noted his calm demeanor. One detail that drew widespread attention was the protective smock he wore, a standard safety measure, but one that visually underscored the seriousness of the situation. The case has since raised difficult questions about family dynamics, mental health, addiction, and the limits of love when someone struggles for years. Nick's past battles with substance abuse and repeated rehab attempts have been widely discussed, not as excuses, but as context that complicates an already painful story. Rob and Michelle, by many accounts, never gave up on their son. They continued supporting him, emotionally and financially, even as the strain grew heavier. Friends say their love never faded, but fear quietly entered the picture in the years leading up to that December night. Now, the Reiner family legacy sits in a painful contrast. A career built on stories of connection and humanity, set against a real-life tragedy that remains unresolved in the public eye. Nick maintains his innocence. Romy maintains her truth. The investigation continues, and until the facts are fully tested in court, one question continues to hang over everything. What really happened inside that Brentwood home before sunrise?